everybody, this is Alchemist2, and I'm back again with another book review. I just recently finished the book Thief by Markus Zusak. The book itself takes place in World War II during the infamous Nazi regime. You've got Max, one of the main characters, who is a Jew who happens to be reading Mein Kampf. Okay, there's a lot actually behind that. There's a purpose for everything in this book, and the narrator's quite intriguing in and of himself. I'm not going to say who the narrator is because that's going to give away quite a bit in this book. Liesel is one of the main characters, the token heroine, and the title character, and it explains how she receives her appellation. There's also Rudy and her mama and papa, Liesel's mama and papa, and her younger brother. And I'm not going to say what happens to her younger brother because it's very tragic. A lot of really difficult scenes occur in this book because it is World War II and it is the Nazi regime, and a lot of horrible things happen, including a lot of bombings, and war is hell. What else do I need to say? But despite that, it's actually a very touching book, and it's very heartfelt and strangely uplifting. And to me, it was a real page-turner. I just could not put it down. It was written in such a way that intrigued me in every page that I flipped, even though I know what's going to happen next, because I've read a lot of different World War II novels, or novels that stories that could have happened during the Second World War, and this probably did happen, probably a lot more than we would like to admit to. And it gave another interesting perspective of children who actually loathed being in the Hitler Youth, that were bored with it and thought that it was ridiculous and stupid and a waste of their time. And you really don't hear stories like that. You think that all the children were brainwashed into it, that they did it out of compulsion, and that they were brainless sheep just being puppeted around just because they were kids and they didn't know any better. They were innocent and they had their innocence taken away. But you've got Rudy, and Rudy just thinks it's a whole bunch of idiocy, and he absolutely thinks it's absolutely ludicrous, and I'm with him. And the story is about friendship and grief and loss, and even love, and how love is displayed, or kind of a tough love with Liesel's foster mom, or a remarkable kind of camaraderie between Liesel and her papa. And being a daddy's girl myself, I could relate to Liesel and her papa quite a bit. And I'm glad to say that my mother is nothing like the Frau in this book. She calls everybody Samich and Schwein. In German, that means swine. That's not very nice. That's her favorite thing to say, or sockerel. She calls people sockerel, and that's probably one of her most used vocabulary words. That and asshole. She says that quite a bit. And it's actually kind of funny in a way, in a kind of sad, strange, and tragic way, but it's just the way that she expresses her love, strangely and ironically enough. There's a lot of irony in this, and a lot of the things are symbolic. There's a story in it I really like called The Word Shaker, and that's probably one of my favorite parts in the entire book. I'm not going to go into that, but it's just so poetic and dynamic, I feel. But every part of the book, you really feel for these characters, and you want only the best for them, even though you probably know that it's not going to end well for them if you know anything about wars like I do. It's still just a really sensational book that you cannot put down no matter how hard you try. It's that well written. I mean, Markus really weaves a very apt yarn. It's very concise. It's very simplistic in the way it's written, but it's profound. And I have a very difficult time expressing this unless you've read the book and you can understand what I'm speaking of. I'm very interested in seeing how this will be depicted on the silver screen. I've seen trailers for the film, and I thought to myself, yeah, this is the kind of movie I want to see. Kind of reminds me of the boy with the striped pajamas, and that's one movie that I cannot watch ever again because it just, if I hear the soundtrack to that film, I swear I will start crying. I just blubber like an idiot. Needless to say, this book is actually one that I recommend if you're a World War II buff, just because of the historical significance. Even if it's not an actual story, it's historically factual, and I can see something like this happening. And it reveals the power of words and just the importance of words in our lives, how we communicate, whether it would be through words, verbal or nonverbal, written, spoken, sung, or gesticulation or vocalization. Words are very potent, and I myself, being a Bachelor of Arts, can relate to this, and I write quite a bit, so you already know that. As far as scale is concerned with this book, I would definitely give it 2 thumbs up, 5 stars, across the board, no questions asked. It's just one of those books that you look at the title and you think to yourself, this is intriguing. Should I read this or not? You look at the back of the book and you see all the reviews, and you think, should I be swayed by the reviews? Okay, why not? And I went into this book not really knowing what to expect, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was something that I learned quite a bit from. And humanity in general, it gave me a better sense of the fact that living is worthwhile, and there's always something to be learned no matter what you do, and be careful with your words as well. You never know who could become your friend. A stranger can become your friend and you not even know it. There's actually a verse in Hebrews I read not too long ago that said, be careful to entertain strangers, for by doing so some have unwittingly entertained angels. And that's actually one of my favorite scriptures of all time. And I think of that I think of that quite a bit, and especially what we're going through right now, Dad and myself. But granted, he and I will come through it better off, I feel. Sometimes you just have to reach out to help somebody, not knowing whether it will end in good or ill. Suffice it to say, you have to have faith and cast your bread upon the waters, so to speak. I'm not really sure how to put it any other way. Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing The Book Thief when it comes out to cinemas, and I will definitely review it when it comes out, as well as The Monument Men, which is a true story. Uh, Book Thief is historical fiction, but nonetheless important. Um, I still highly recommend it for people who are World War II buffs or just history buffs in general. I'm sure that you'll eat it up just like I did. For me, it was kind of a light lunch, and it was something a little bit unexpected, and it really gave me a good feeling at the end, and I really thought that Liesel was quite a sensational character. She was truly phenomenal. She was marvelous because there were so many obstacles that she had to overcome, and I'm not going to really delve into that right now, but if you have the chance to pick up the book at any local store, I would definitely do so. It's inexpensive, and it's in softback, so softbacks are cheaper than hardbacks, and I really like hardbacks better because they hold together much, they fare better, basically. They can handle being roughed around a little bit, even though I would never do so to a companion. I treat my companions very, very well. Every time I pick up a new book, I make a new friend, whether I like it or not. Um, but a new book is just a friend you never met. I'm paraphrasing Streetcar Named Desire, but anyways, I will see you next time, and hopefully by the next time we meet, I will be seeing Sword of the Dark World, or Ender's Game, or Hunger Games Catching Fire. We will cross that bridge when we get to it, but until now, I shall sign off and live long and prosper, and ciao tutti!